Hello from Gardening at Dwensa here in Ireland, and this is part 2 of my mega Cattleya update. Now, you saw most of my Cattleyas last time round, but there are still another few tables full to show you this time. We're going to look at the seedlings, we're going to look at the Encyclia, and we're going to look at a few other things. And to kick off, we have the King of Taiwan, which is a Cattleya I've had for many years, just about to open one big fat bud there at the moment. It's missed the video, the flowers have missed the video, but no doubt I'll show you it again before very long. Okay, so let's get on with that part 2. And another quick change brings in some smaller orchids and the seedling ones I have. But before I start talking about them, I'm going to show you this Epidendrum parkinsonianum, which I'm bound to forget unless I mention it now. It seems to be doing really well, lots and lots of leaves, and it's well strapped into its pot now so it doesn't fall out. Roots doing very well, as you can see, a bit too well through those holes. Up it goes again. And well, there's no sign of any flowers. Again, this is another one that needs highlights, so I imagine if I put this out in the greenhouse next summer, it might do it a power of good. Okay, disasters aside, let's move down here. And before, again, I talk about the smaller ones, just to mention about Bob Betts. This is Cattleya Bob Betts, a Cattleya with a great history, which I've had for a long time, one of my older ones. And yeah, it's been a bad year for it. It has produced a sheath somewhere, just one around here, although I'm not sure it's really a proper sheath with the pointy thing on top there. Again, it could be that this unifoliate Cataleya is producing a second leaf. Well, you know, it's been a bad year for us all, so we'll excuse Bob, and hopefully next year it will do better. So to talk about my seedlings, and I mentioned before that I don't recommend growing seedling Cattleyas, and I'll say it again, certainly in my environment they are tricky. Here we have a mad cross between purpurata and Rex and warscewiczii, which I think is exactly the same size as it was when I got it. It's lost some pseudobulbs, now it has a new growth, so it's kind of back to square one. Here we have the warscewiczii seedlings, the final 2 remaining warscewiczii seedlings from the order I did 2 years ago, I think it was 3 years ago maybe. I'm going to link to that video up above, and they have not progressed much in the time that I've had them. Again, I mean, they've lost a few pseudobulbs and produced new growths, and I think I had 5 originally, and I now have swapped some, I now have 2, so yeah. But what is a kind of mini success story is the Cataleya Rex, which came in the same order as this, and that's the video I just linked to up above. Because although I originally had 5, swapped some of them out, I think I lost one, and these 2 here are the seedlings. So this one hasn't done terribly well at all, but this one is, you know, it's doing quite well. I think it should have been potted on into a bigger pot this year, but that didn't happen, and but it looks quite good. Obviously, I've been giving this one more light than that one, as you can see, but you know, it is bigger, so it can take it. Those black marks seem stable, so I'm not worried. So maybe one of these years I'll eventually have a flowering sized Cataleya Rex. This one I couldn't find for sale anywhere flowering size, so I went with the seedling in the end. Okay, so what else have we got on the table? We have another species. This is Laelia perrinii, which I got from the Polish orchid nursery. It is doing well, but refuses to flower yet. Behind it we have another species. This one is leopoldii. Had some marks on the leaves which I cut off a while ago. Seems to be stable. It seems to produce a lot of roots, as you can see, but no sign of a flower spike. In front we have the noid noid pink Cataleya, which Danny, Miss Orchid Girl, sent me a long time ago. Again, a very small division, so, you know. Anyway, here we have the Rene Marquez flamethrower with a truncated label, which I got from the orchid nursery a while ago. And this one has been slow. It just seems to be, you know, a bit of a wilting flower, not a wilting flower, a bit of a, what's the phrase? Yeah, a shy flower. That's new growth there, and that's a new growth, but no sign of flowers. It mightn't exactly be flowering size. Behind it we have what was bought as a seedling, and this is a marmoratum, again a species, gorgeous little cute little brown and white flowers that look exactly like a tiger's muzzle. And this one is doing well. It has, this is the big one there is the newest growth, so it does seem to be getting its act together. It is in these jars with pebbles, so it benefits from a bit better humidity. And also in like situation, I have this small Cataleya that I got from Anna Maria in Romania, and this is Dayana, which seems to be doing well with 2 new growths. It struggled when I got it first, but it seems to be doing well. Don't look at the mould at the bottom of those glass things. Not very nice. Okay, right. Last table shift. And my final change shows up my Encyclias. So I'm going to take a few moments now and talk about the Encyclias. Having already told you about 3 of them. But anyway. Yeah, now Encyclia, I had a thing for Encyclias a little while ago and made it my business to try and buy as many as possible, mostly species. And it just seems to be such a varied genus that the conditions different Encyclias require vary a whole lot. And I suppose my best success is with this one here, this small miniature one, the Euchile, originally Encyclia mariae. And this flowers reliably for me. It produces 1 new pseudobulb a year, and that flowers in summer, I think about June, July. No more than 1, but it does reliably. And, you know, this is supposed to take a bit of dryness in winter, which I think is properly catered for by my lazy watering, so I don't seem to need to do that, and I find it really good. The other one that, well, I suppose I'll lump it together with Encyclias because it used to originally be an Encyclia, is the cochleata one, the one that a lot of people grow, the one Alberto said he didn't like. And this is also a really good doer as far as I'm concerned. A lot of the year it spends in flower and no nonsense, no problem whatsoever. That one I would say takes, you know, a bit of sphagnum on top of its bark to keep it happy. And here down below the Encyclia vitellina that we just showed earlier on in the video, looking quite glorious in the autumn sunshine. So they're the ones that have done well, but the ones that haven't done so well are these other ones. Now, what we have here is Cordillera. I had a brown Cordillera, which I bought in flower, and it took a nosedive soon after I got it, and it is no more. But this is the white variety that I bought from Schwerther 2 years ago. Supposedly came in flowering size, but I think it was a little bit small. It's growing well, this one, but no flowers yet. So maybe actually that's doing okay and I needn't worry about that. What we have behind it are 2 other Encyclias that I really just don't have the hang of. Now this one is Prosthechea prismatocarpa. It has amazing flowers. I think that illustration there shows them. And I think a lot of people want to grow them because of the flowers. It's just not doing terribly well for me. And when I bought this from Le Canapé des Orchidées in France the summer before last, I chose, there was a choice, like I could have had one of 3 sizes. I chose the biggest one. And even still, you see that new pseudobulb was bigger than the previous, but this one here, I'm not sure is going to be bigger still. It looks like it's going to be less in size. This old pseudobulb is dying down, looks like a banana, and I think it might be getting a bit mushy now at this stage, so that'll have to be removed at some stage. So I'm not feeling very hopeful that this new growth is going to produce anything in the way of flowers. And as you can see, it has blind sheaths all over the place. So what exactly the trick is, I don't know. But worse than that, because that one I only have since summer 2016. Worse than that is this one, Hanburyii. Hanburyii? Anyway, yeah, that's what it's like. And again, all the names of these plants are going to be in the details of the video, and a list according to their timing in the video appearance. Now, this plant grows well. It produces lots of roots, seems very happy in that respect. It is one plant. It looks like it's 2 plants put in one, but it is actually one plant. I know because I repotted it and removed a portion which I sent to somebody else, and rotting pseudobulbs. So you can imagine, I mean, what a vigorous plant it is, yet there's no sign of flowers. And yeah, what can I say? I mean, in this case, that pseudobulb, yeah, maybe it's a bit smaller than the previous one, but there's nothing to get too upset about, and yet no sign of flowers. I've had this one for, oh gosh, three years. It was the orchid acquisition disorder video I made, was the one where I unboxed this plant. So yeah. And then, just to add insult to injury, we have Encyclia alata, which I bought and just didn't do very well for me, and I noticed that the leaves were beginning to dehydrate like that, plus the fact that it seemed a bit wobbly in its pot. So when I unpotted it, I found that the roots were all but dead. So I'm going to try and coax it back into root growth over some water here. The newest growth is very small, and the previous one is smaller than the previous ones to that. When I removed this from the pot, there was a pseudobulb at the back that was rotting, so that's come off. So this was a bigger plant, so it's not done terribly well. So we'll see if we can coax it into root growth. You can see that there are new roots here at the front of this second oldest pseudobulb, so that will be hopeful. And for waterculture fans who followed the progress of my Epidendrum, which was my waterculture experiment, I have some news for you. And the news is that, well, you know, my Epidendrum, I think it's really missing. And I managed to catch a fleeting glimpse of it and take a photographic snap as it disappeared from my life forever. I'll just put that picture in here now, so wait up and let's see what happened to it. Well, what can I say? Okay, well, that was my very long-winded Cataleya update. I do believe I've covered everything I own in the Cataleya Alliance, except perhaps the Epidendrums, but we'll just forget about them. Oh my goodness, I forgot one. Hang on. I nearly forgot my LC Blossom Bounty, which is producing 2 nice buds at the moment, and this is one that buds without a sheath, so directly from the leaf axils, and it didn't flower last year, so despite being divided, I think it took 2 divisions off of this, it is going to flower this year, so that's good going. So I'm glad I didn't forget that. Okay, I guess that is all I have to say for the moment, except to thank you for watching this very long-winded Cataleya update. And I know who you are, you Cataleya lovers out there, and check back again for lots more orchid and plant videos. Bye now.